We are at Buckeye Furnace here in southeastern Ohio, and we thought we'd kind of take a look around. The old furnace itself sits on the hill right ahead of us there. And we'll go check it out. We're in southeastern Ohio, a little bit south of Wellston. And a really good look at the restored Buckeye Furnace. There's also a museum located here, which unfortunately is not open today. We're here on the day after Christmas 2016, and here is the business end of Buckeye Furnace. We'll move over here and get a little bit closer look. You can actually make out on a header block right there, it says Buckeye Furnace, T. Price Builder, and it looks like 1856, if I'm reading that correctly.
All right, we're now at the furnace site. Getting ready to go in the building where the furnace is actually located. All right. This is cold and hot blast iron making, according to this particular sign right here. Neat diagram, shows how it all works. Here's the back end of the boiler. This is the boiler itself right here. Again, this is the end of the boilers. There's the access panel going down.
Says the shipment of pig iron was a continual problem here at Buckeye Furnace. When Buckeye Furnace was constructed, the owners planned to ship the iron on small boats down the Little Raccoon Creek. After unpredictable water levels in the stream made this method of shipping impractical, the furnace owners turned to wagons. Teamsters transported the iron to the railroad at Berlin Crossroads, about 3 miles away. Said workmen using wooden forms as a pattern made a series of molds in the sand on the floor of the cast house. Each mold was connected through a channel to a main runner that ended near the mouth of the furnace. When the furnace hearth filled with molten iron and slag, the air blast was stopped and the process of tapping begun. The tapping process began by draining off the slag. This was done by knocking out a clay plug in the top of the dam stone. This allowed the slag to drain from the furnace and collect in a large puddle on the left side of the work arch. After the slag was tapped, the clay plug called the iron notch at the bottom of the dam stone was removed, and molten iron was allowed to flow into the molds that had been previously made in the cast house floor. So what we're looking at here right now is the cast house. Pretty impressive setup. The building we're looking at here is the old engine house. Civil War era iron production here in southeastern Ohio. And here again is the Buckeye Furnace and the cast floor. We're in the cast room or the cast house on the sand floor here. And let's take a look up here. Pretty impressive right here. There again is the engine house, and apparently the engine house provided power for an air compressor that was used to pump air into the furnace. And there again is the furnace itself. It's kind of hard to believe that wood forms were constructed and laid out down here on the sand floor, and the molten iron then was flowed into those forms, producing the iron pigs that would later be broken apart by the workers. You can see there on the roof of the casting house, it's designed to let smoke and heat vent through the roof. And I would assume this thing created tons of both. Well, reading a bit further here, I see that when the iron had cooled in the wooden forms, workmen used sledgehammers to separate each iron pig from the iron remaining in the connecting channels. The iron was loaded on wagons and carts for shipment to foundries where it was converted into iron products. While the slag was cooling, a heavy chain was attached to it. The other end of the chain was attached to a large slag wheel, and the entire mass dragged to the front of the casting house. Using sledgehammers, workmen broke the slag into small pieces and loaded that onto wagons that transported the waste material to a refuse area, or it was used on roads or so on. So apparently what we're looking at is a slag wheel. Here's another look at the Buckeye Furnace. And if you look down on the lower level here is the casting house, where we have just been taking a look and learning just a little bit about the operation of the Buckeye Furnace. Let's just walk over here and look into the business end of the Buckeye Furnace. Area here behind the furnace itself. And there's Ron here at the Buckeye Furnace.